We're back. So I'm just saying, for the moment, we can look at the root shape. Now, it's important to do to do the octave with these shapes. It really is, because it gets you halfway there, and then you don't know what to do. So, whenever you're playing like triads, just make sure you hit the octave, because the octave is the key to the inversion. Okay, the octave is the key to the inversion. All right, so with the minor, like that, just I have this on my finger. It's okay. It's a usage cut. It'll toughen up. So, including the octave, so in other words, this is really incomplete. We should have a 7 up here. Alright? And what I was saying was that it's good to look at the inversions with the Locrian, because you don't recognize them, so you can see just strictly how an inversion would go. Second inversion would start on the second note in the arpeggio, right? And then you just carry it on from there. So it'll be 2, 4 to 7. There it is, first inversion, 2, 4, 7. Second inversion would start with the third note, or roughly the fifth, the relative fifth. In diminished, it's tough to say that's a fifth, so I just keep it as the 7th of the original key. So it's 7 root 2 3 4. Okay, so we start on the 4th and just do the pattern from there, but the pattern goes over here and like that, and lo and behold, second inversion ends up having that shape. So if you learn these arpeggios, now how far did we have to go to second inversion? We had to go up to the 2. So here was root, here was first inversion, here's second inversion, and these patterns should actually go even one further to the octave of the second inversion. Maybe. Let's see. First inversion, root, first inversion, second inversion. Now that's just root again. But you can't get second inversion without doing the octave. Alright, because this is the octave. So we've got it. You don't have to add the 4 again. So they're all right there. So if you do this thing up to the octave there, alright, that's going to give you the first inversion. You have to go ahead a little bit more to get that second inversion. The second inversion will take you up to the 3rd. So in C it's alright. You don't have to go any higher than that. So that's how the inversions are formed. So in the minor, it's the same thing. Just start from the 6th is the minor 6th. If you build a triad off of that, following the scale, it's 6 root 3. Alright, then start from root. Alright, it looks like a C6 chord, but that's first inversion. Second inversion starts on the 5th. Like that. Alright, so from here, how far up did we have to go? Here's root. Here's first inversion, root 3 6. Second inversion is 3 6 root. And root once again up here. But there's going to be a warp if we're playing this, and this is the bottom 4 strings, right? This is low, this is the high string. We have the warp, so effectively we'd have to play a chord shaped like this, where we get, Hollywood squares up here. So I can read this right off the the display here, I can read it right off there and play it as is. That's the high E right there. The fret nut is right here, or my capo. So but the important thing to remember once again is to know this pattern. Treat it as a pattern, just like the S2L we had. This is very powerful once you know just these 4 notes in the minor, because it's a minor third to a major third, straight up to the octave. Because you're going to take that through the warp no matter what. No matter what's going on. And that's what's happening here. We talked about this yesterday, okay, where we're going to take these things through the warp. So here's your root minor, right? This is the top part. This is that repeated root minor up top. So right there. You take that root, you put the third through the warp, and you get this shape. We're not Hollywood squares anymore. We're like, Little Dipper or something like that. And then, then we get that if we put them both through the warp. All right, that's the root shape. And it forms different cages, different keys, so to speak. Not keys, but different cage forms on the keyboard. So it's somewhere else on the keyboard. You can this is done as a derivation to put this through the warp, but it'll take you to different parts of the keyboard if you want to find where these chords are. And we went through that yesterday. All right, and we can do that with the majors too. So let's say we start on second inversion, right? So it's 3, 5 root. So we got to keep going here, and this is one of those times where, oh, maybe we don't know what we're doing, and all of a sudden, before you know it, we know what we're doing. And we just have to accept it all in music, as you're going to be confused, all of a sudden you're going to be satisfied and know what you're doing. And we're practicing now and learning, we're not playing yet. So you take this shape and put it through the warp, the R is going to warp over, and you get what looks like part of a major C, a C major, right? So you get, hi, my wife. So you get, with that C major, you're going to start on the third there, and that's just third to the fifth, the open 5 to the C, right there. All right. But if we put both of these through the warp, so now we've essentially got the same shape, but now it's shorter. It's shorter. That is indicative of the E shape. And the E shape C is way up here. Okay, that was the C shape C down here. Okay, the E shape C is way up here. And starting from the 3 there, it's going to be, these two are going to be on the C-shaped finger bar. Okay, so it'd be like this. That's how that works. And the same thing for the second inversion. You put it through and you'll get to that familiar D shape that everyone likes to know how to do early on in learning guitar shapes. All right, so excuse me, and low cream we do the same thing, and you get these shapes that advanced guitar players would recognize. Alright, so let's move up. This is yesterday's progression, and I have a progression for today too. So again, we have what we were just doing here, but I put all 3 of the minors and 3 of the majors on here, one chart.